So you fell in love with candle making and you know that you want to turn it into a business, but you feel extremely overwhelmed with the monumental amount of decisions that you can make in your business when you're getting started. There are thousands of different fragrances and jars and wicks and styles of jars and colors and labels and all of these things that you have all of this decision fatigue and analysis paralysis and all of these things that you have no idea how to actually settle on a decision. And today's video, I'm going to help guide you in a way that's going to make this decision making a little bit easier for you. Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Erica with Memory Box Candle Co. And I make videos all about the journey of starting a candle business. And I want you leaving today's video having a much better idea of what kind of supplies you are going to choose for your candle business. The two most important things that matter more than anything else when you are choosing your supplies has to do with your target market and the proximity of your candle supplier. So let's talk a little bit more about your target market. I've talked about this ad nauseum in my videos and my podcast because as I have grown in my own candle business, I realize how important and imperative that is to establish from the very beginning, so that you can answer these questions, so that you can make these decisions. The hardest part of having the decision fatigue and all of these choices is that you have no direction. So if you don't have a direction, you can just kind of make a choice based on, well, I guess I kind of like this one better than the other one. I like this jar better than this one, so I'll just go with this one. You have to think about it as, what is your customer gonna like? Who is your ideal customer? What are they going to like in a candle? Yes, it matters what you like, but it matters more what your customer is going to like. So I'm going to use this as an example, and I will give a couple different examples because I know I always end up using the wedding industry as an example, but it's really easy to kind of get my point across with that. So if you are somebody who is wanting to target the wedding industry, so either for wedding planners or for brides to be, you will be able to make your choices on your products a lot easier because you know who you're going to be selling to. If you don't know who you're going to be selling to, it's extremely difficult to make decisions on what fragrances, what scents, what jars, what sizes, how many. Whereas when you actually know who your customer is, you are specifically choosing products that that customer is going to want to purchase. You are trying to benefit them and bring value to them with your product. So for instance, if you are somebody who is wanting to target the wedding industry, you know that you will probably want to have a lot of floral fragrances to choose from, maybe more feminine, more kind of whimsical kind of fragrances, maybe some fruity fragrances in there. You're going to choose fragrances based on what a bride would want to have at her wedding. And you can do more research on this and figure out what candle fragrances brides to be will want to purchase. You can even go on and see if you can ask brides to be in a Facebook group or whatever, what kind of fragrances they would want to have on their wedding day for candles. And this is just doing more research so that you can look up and see what kind of fragrances that brides would want. So maybe a jasmine, rose, vanilla, that kind of fragrances to offer so that you're being able to be cohesive with your brand's overall theme and overall target market on who you are trying to serve. Because if you are serving the wedding industry, but you have candles that are not something that brides would want to purchase, then there's not that cohesiveness there. You're not giving your ideal customer what they are looking for. You have to think about it from your customer's perspective and use that as a way to be able to choose the products that you are wanting to have in your own candle line. And bouncing off of that, with the wedding industry, you may want to have different sizes of smaller candles. So maybe really small tea lights, a little bit bigger, and then a little bit bigger than that. So maybe 2-ounce, 4-ounce, and 6-ounce candles. If you're targeting the wedding industry, you may not want to have big 16 or 20-ounce 3-wick candles. That wouldn't make any sense for the industry that you are trying to target, because more than likely they are looking for smaller wedding favors or little candles to have on the tables, or being able to put together a bridesmaid's gift box. That's another suggestion, as well as having gift boxes. You have to think about it in terms of what is going to be the most beneficial for your target customer, and you can kind of be able to make your choices based on who your target customer is. Another example is if you are trying to target people that want to be able to reuse things, reuse, recycle, and be a little bit more eco-conscious with their purchases, you may want to choose supplies that can be reused. So you may want to look into containers or vessels that are ceramic, things that maybe can turn into a little planter, and use that as a way to promote and market your product for your ideal customer, because you have to think about, what does my ideal customer care about? What are they wanting in a candle? And that is how you are going to work backwards in order to figure out what kind of supplies you want to choose for your candle business. Because I understand the overwhelm of decisions. I mean, yes, there's a lot of vessels to choose from. There's a lot of different wax types, and there's, different kinds of wicks. Not as many as vessels and fragrances, but fragrances, that is something that can be extremely overwhelming. And I mean, there's literally tens of thousands of different fragrances. And then you can also do blends, and it just gets so overwhelming. So by doing it this way and figuring out who is my ideal market, what do they care about, that is how you are going to make your decisions for your candle business. And if you're like me and you're kind of already established in your business, and then you realize after years of experience that you never did this from the beginning, you can also start to readjust and change things. You can create certain lines that are for specific types of target markets, and you can work on it that way so that you can really start to understand the concept of creating a product for your ideal target market. And this is something that I am working on an entire course section in my newest digital product, The Ultimate Guide to Starting a Candle Business. I'm working on an entire section on how to get your first sale, understanding your target market, figuring out who your target market is, and then creating a product that they want, and then actually going through the process and selling it to them. This is something I will offer step by step in this video guide that I am creating. So if you're interested in that product, I will have it down in the pinned comment down below. Right now it's just the written and the audio guide of how to start a candle business, but I am adding on how to actually make your first sale, because I think this is the best way to go about making your first sale, so that you're not lost when you actually launch your business, because I understand how frustrating that is when you just have no idea how to actually go about getting your first sale. Now, when it comes to the other thing that you are wanting to focus on with your decision making for choosing your supplies, is the proximity of the candle supplier to you. So if there is a certain kind of jar that you are wanting to use, but the supplier is all the way across the country and it's going to cost more money to get that supply item, you may want to revisit your decision making and choose a supplier that is closer to you. So you want to make sure that you are choosing supplies based on what your ideal customer is wanting, and what is the most cost-effective way for you to make a really good profit with your business. Because we want to make a really good profit, and therefore we want to choose candle suppliers that are closer to us, so that shipping costs are not as much as purchasing from somewhere that is across the country from you. That is going to increase the cost, and I know that there's people that live outside of the USA and you have no other choice but to purchase and have to purchase from far away to get your items in. But just do your research and try to find the best deals that you possibly can to really lower that cost of goods, because in the long run, that is going to be an extremely important part of the whole process of actually choosing your supplies and having a thriving business that's actually going to make you money. I really do believe that this video, if you take action on it and you really listen and follow through with my advice in this video, I really think that this is actually going to make a huge difference on whether or not you end up getting sales when you launch your candle business, or if you've already launched your candle business and you're struggling with sales, I really think that this pivot is going to help you out a lot, even if you need to make a little bit of adjustments in the style that you offer or the scents that you offer or whatever it is. If you need to go through and actually revisit and do an audit of your own business, that is something that you may need to do in order to start seeing more sales in your business. But with that, I am going to end today's video right here. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave it a big thumbs up, as well as subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, don't forget to follow me over on Instagram at MemoryBoxCandleCo, and I will see you in my next video.